Hello and welcome to the session on e-commerce and e-governance. For developing countries like India, electronic commerce or e-commerce offers considerable opportunity. E-commerce in India is still in nascent stage, but even the most pessimistic projections indicate a boom. It is believed that low cost of personal computers, a growing installed base for internet use, and an increasingly competitive internet service provider market will help fuel e-commerce growth in Asia's second most populous nation. This new concept, e-commerce, is an important term for governing. E-governance is the key to making information technology relevant to ordinary citizens. Governance is a sender which changes how citizens relate to government each other. E-commerce encompasses all business conducted by means of computer networks. Advances in telecommunications and computer technologies in recent years have made computer networks an integral part of the economic infrastructure. More and more companies are facilitating transactions over web. There has been tremendous competition to target each and every computer owner who is connected to the web. Although business-to-business transactions play an important part in e-commerce market, a share of e-commerce revenues in developed countries is generated from business to consumer transactions. E-commerce provides multiple benefits to the consumers in form of availability of goods at lower cost, wider choice, and saves time. People can buy goods with a click of a mouse button without moving out of their house or office. Similarly, online services such as banking, ticketing, including airlines, bus, railways, bill payments, hotel booking, etc., have been of tremendous benefit for the customers. Most experts believe that overall e-commerce will increase exponentially in coming years. Business-to-business transactions will represent the largest revenue, but online retailing will also enjoy a drastic growth. Online businesses like financial services, travel, entertainment and groceries are all likely to grow. Amongst the Asian nations, the growth of e-commerce in India between 1997 and 2003 was the highest. According to McKinsey NASSCOM report by the year 2008, e-commerce transactions in India are reached $100 billion. Indian middle class of 288 million people is equal to the entire US consumer base. This makes India a real attractive market of e-commerce. To make a successful e-commerce transaction, both the payment and delivery services must be made efficient. There has been a rise in the number of companies taking up e-commerce in the recent past. Major Indian portal sites have also shifted towards e-commerce instead of depending on advertising revenue. Many sites are now selling a diverse range of products and services from flowers, greeting cards and movie tickets to groceries, electronic gadgets and computers. With stock exchanges coming online, the time for true e-commerce in India has finally arrived. On the negative side, there are many challenges faced by e-commerce sites in India. The relatively small credit card population and lack of uniform credit agencies create a variety of payment challenges unknown in the United States and Western Europe. Delivery of goods to consumer by couriers and postal services is not very reliable in smaller cities, towns and rural areas. However, many Indian banks have put the internet banking facilities in place for the upcoming e-commerce market. The speed post and courier system has also improved tremendously in recent years. Modern computer technology like Secured Socket Layer (SSL) helps to protect against payment fraud and to share information with suppliers and business partners. With further improvement in payment and delivery system, it is expected that India will soon become a major player in the e-commerce market. While many companies, organizations and communities in India are beginning to take advantage of the potential of e-commerce, critical challenges remain to be overcome before e-commerce would become an asset for common people. E-governance challenges for government. E-governance expands to electronic governance as the integration of information and communication technology (ICT) in all the processes with the aim of enhancing government ability to address the needs of the general public. The basic purpose of e-governance is to simplify processes for all that is government, citizens, businesses, etc. at national, state and local levels. In short, it's the use of electronic means to promote good governance. It connotes the implementation of information technology in the government processes and functions so as to cause simple, moral, accountable and transparent governance. It entails the access and delivery of government services, dissemination of information, communication in a quick and efficient manner. Word governance connects the process of decision making and the process of which decisions are implemented. Governance can be used in several contexts such as corporate governance, international governance, national governance and local governance. It encompasses the entire process of public administration, the process of underlying the formulation of public policies. The human resource development (HRD) efforts required for reskilling the government machinery, priority nation efficient management of public resource and above all redesigning the various instruments used to realize the concept of a welfare state. Challenges are faced in computerized operating and maintenance of system. Performance implications of entrepreneurship strategies, implementing entrepreneurial strategies, new venture strategies, performance implications of strategic entrepreneurship, the interaction between strategic management and entrepreneurship. E-government is a subset of the concept of good governance. It has the importance of providing high-quality government services to citizens and businesses, of providing equal access and equal treatment of the rich and the poor, of bringing in enhanced transparency, speed, reliability and consistency in handling transactions, of operating up immense scope for offering new services, for instance, anytime, anywhere services, making the concept of citizens charters a reality and above all of reducing the real cost of transactions with the government. E-governance perspectives. Introduction of e-governance is the key to making information technology relevant to ordinary citizens. Governance is a center which changes how citizens relate to government as much as it changes how citizens relate to each other. The architecture should be able to provide the capabilities to the government to provide to citizen secure and easy access to the key services through the e-governance infrastructure anytime, any place, using any service, to give to the citizen a unified and simplified view of government services and information, to allow government employees access to relevant information across all its offices efficiently, to enable future of governance application a consistent and open mechanism of an interoperating with government services. Inter-analysis suggests a preferred route to e-governance, the portal route. It provides interface to millions of citizens and allows thousands to access the services and resources of hundreds of government departments, multinational software corporation, one working in this field of action to strengthen the democratic foundation of governance. ICT and governance. ICT is defined as an electronic means to collect, process, store and communicate information, especially through computer hardware, software and networks. ICT has been instrumental in changing the way in which the government operates through horizontal and vertical interactions and information flows. It has provided unique opportunities to governments in terms of new ways of doing business through e-government and e-governance applications. E-government is about leading the transformation of government to provide efficient, convenient and transparent services to citizens and businesses through the use of information and communication technologies. E-government is not about but about government. It is not about computers and websites, but about services to citizens and business. E-government is not about translating processes, it is about transforming them. E-government concerns with the transformation of government, modernization of government processes and functions, and better public service delivery mechanism through technology. Citizens are the recipients in e-government. Good governance is fundamental and e-governance is instrumental. E-governance is a tool. No e-governance tool can be successful without focusing attention to process reforms for good governance. Good governance dictates the design and shape of e-tools for improving governance outcomes and processes. E-governance can be an effective and efficient tool for good governance even only if the process reforms have been carried out. Automating complicated government processes will create more problems than it can solve. In e-governance, the letter E is small and the letter G is big. E-governance, on the other hand, comprises decisional processes and the use of ICT for wider participation of citizens in public affairs. Citizens are participants in e-governance. The purpose of implementing e-governance is to improve governance processes and outcomes with a view of improving the delivery of public services to citizens. The United Nations UNO distinguishes between the following areas where governmental operations can be improved by the application of ICT. E-government. This applies to inter-organizational relationships and includes policy coordination, policy implementation and public service delivery. E-administration. This applies to intra-organizational relationships and includes policy development, organizational activities and knowledge management. E-governance. This applies to interaction between citizens, government organizations, public and elected officials and includes democratic processes, open government and transparent decision making. Government needs to play a key role in shaping or supporting e-government, e-administration and e-governance programs with a view to improving governance. Good governance has 8 major characteristics, that is participation, transparency, effectiveness, efficiency, responsiveness, accountability, equality and inclusiveness, rule of law. The term governance is wider than government. Governance may be an activity of governing or controlling a country by its government, controlling of an organization or a company by its CEO or board of directors, or controlling of a household by the head of the house. Accordingly, e-governance may also involve governing of a country, organization, company or a household, however with the help of information and communication technology. A government is a group of people responsible for the administration and control of a country or state. It involves people like the heads of states, ministers, government employees, etc. It also involves public participation. So, electronic substitution for a government is not possible. Therefore, e-government may only refer to a government using in conducting its business. E-government, that is, electronic government, is the use of information and communications technology to run or carry on the business of the government of a country. Institutional benefits of e-governance in education. Information and communication technologies are a major factor in shaping the new global economy and producing rapid changes in the society. Within the past decade, the new ICT tools have fundamentally changed the way people live. The present age is the age of technology, whereby technology plays a key role in daily lives. This also includes the educational system. There are endless possibilities with the integration of ICT in the education system. The use of ICT in education not only improves classroom teaching learning process, but also promotes institutional administration. Electronic governance or e-governance is the use of ICTs for the planning, implementation and monitoring of government programs, projects and activities. E-governance is expected to help deliver cost-effective and easy-to-access citizen services and improve processing of transactions both within the government and between the government and other agencies. E-governance in higher educational system will enable different stakeholders to improve the efficiency in various key processes. Administration is very important to the realization of the educational institution's objectives. Indeed, the success of the school system depends largely on the administration of the school it handled. The teachers, students, non-teaching staff and resources must be efficiently arranged, monitored and controlled so that they would work harmoniously according to the educational plan. Even the national policy on education emphasizes the success of the entire educational system on proper planning, efficient administration and adequate funding. School administration is the process by which principles, methods and practices of administration are applied in educational institutions to establish, maintain and develop such institutions in line with the goals of the institutions. Educational administration, as the scientific organization of human and material resources and programs available for education and using them systematically and meticulously to achieve educational goals. Educational administration implies the arrangement of the human and material resources and program available for education and carefully using the systematically for the achievement of educational objectives. Thus, educational administrator, whether in the Ministry of Education, the school boards or in a school, is essentially the organizer, the implementer of plans, policies and program meant for achieving specific educational objectives. The educational administrator may contribute one way or the other in planning, policy making and program designing, yet his or her major role rests with the effective and efficient implementation of such plans, policies and program for the benefit of education. Viewed from this angle, educational administration is concerned with organization and implementation. The administrator is concerned with formulating general plans and policies for education. Necessity of e-governance in education. If the quality of our educational system has to be improved to make institutions really world-class, then there is no alternative to the introduction of e-governance in the sphere at the fastest possible pace. Implementation of e-governance in technical and vocational institutes will enable their effective and real-time monitoring by government or the regulatory bodies and other stakeholders, their own managements, parents of the students and the society, thereby forcing them to maintain quality and become more responsible. E-governance process brings transparency in the system. So, e-governance initiatives in the field of higher education will help reduce the corruption up to a large extent. The introduction of e-governance in higher education is one such concept that can empower the governing bodies to administer the progress of the education plan in the whole country and serves various stakeholders in a much better way. E-governance is becoming a global phenomenon that is increasingly attracting the attention of community citizens, including politicians, economists, decision makers and policy makers, amongst others. According to Information for Development Program InfoDev Annual Report 2002, an effective e-governance satisfies these following needs: providing greater access to government information, promoting public engagement by enabling the public to interact with government officials, making government more accountable by making its operations more obvious and thus reducing the opportunities for corruption, and providing development opportunities, especially benefiting rural and traditionally undeserved communities. E-governance in education system will enable various stakeholders to control the improved operational efficiency in various key processes like grants, utilization certificates, approval processes, feedback mechanism, etc. With deeper visibility and increased operational efficiency, the Indian higher education system would be implemented not only to satisfy the needs of students by making them more employable, but also combat possible competition from foreign universities. Benefits of e-governance in education. The benefits of e-governance in the educational sector are improved efficiency, increase in transparency and accountability of educational administrative activities, convenient and faster access to services, and lower cost for administrative services. The multifaceted benefits of e-governance can be described as under: centralized information access from anywhere, increase in student enrollment ratio, provide quality e-services, e-participation, increase clearness, inventive teaching tools, improve decision making, public-private participation, less paperwork. A good education system is required for overall development of a nation. A remarkable growth in the higher education sector had made the administration of higher education institutions intricate. E-governance is understood as a set of activities involving the effective contribution of ICTs for strengthening administration and management in higher education system in India has declined somewhat over the past due to several reasons. It has become very important for the government to keep track of their functioning. Educational institutions may have various requirements that include computerization and management of processes such as registration, admission, student information, classes, timetable, transport, attendance, library, salary and expenses, examinations, performance, grades, hostels, security and reports. Many of the software providers allow their clients to choose from the available modules to suit their needs to monitoring of these aspects. The National E-Governance Plan. The National E-Governance Plan NEGP, which is the flagship e-governance program of the central government, was approved by the Government of India in May 2006, comprising with 27 mission mode projects MMPs at the central, state and local government level. Under the NEGP, the state mission mode projects are land records, road transport, property registration, agriculture, treasuries, municipalities, local self-government institutions, commercial taxes, police and employment exchanges. By inclusion of education in the state-level MMPs of NEGP, the concept of effective governance of education sector is thoroughly innovated for effective handling of new challenges confronting the educational sector. Educational e-governance can facilitate in improving transparency, providing speedy information dissemination, improving administrative efficiency and public services in all aspects of the education. It is beyond doubt that for the quantity and quality of output of our education system to substantially improve, there is no option but to introduce e-governance in this sphere. The application of ICT for governance is somewhat poor, because of which the NEGP is set up, but it is furthermore poor in the education sector, which is one of the key pillars for the rapid growth of economy of the country. The challenge is therefore to bring e-governance into educational sector. This research aims at bringing ICT for e-governance of the educational sector. Let me now summarize the session. Some of the aspects of e-commerce can be used and applied in administration and democratic decision making. This means that in those areas where governments provide goods and services for the citizens, where citizens can thus justly be seen as customers, e-commerce may provide a useful role model. Democratic decision making, including elections, representation, parliamentarianism, etc., have few or no equivalents in the business world. E-commerce can therefore not provide governments with suggestions on how ICT can be used in these areas. On the one hand, the commercial paradigm promotes values such as efficiency, service quality, speed of delivery, etc. that can also be valuable for the legitimacy of democracy. On the other hand, it can produce problems due to the confusion of customers and citizens, the dissimilarity of political and economic system, and the hidden agenda and ideology it can carry. While framing e-government in terms of e-commerce is not a bad thing, political decision makers need to be aware that it can produce moral problems that not only jeopardize the success of e-government, but that can affect the very legitimacy of democratic structures. It was not intended to say that we should not make good use of positive experiences in the business world and use them to improve the workings of our states and administration. Thank you for watching today's program. Hope today's session was enriching. Goodbye.